Ugh. I guess I can't really check my audio levels if I don't talk, huh? hate, hate Twitch's freaking mobile thing. Mobile app, help. I can never find never get my stream stuff to work on there. Alright. I was going to stream earlier, and then I played Sims for like 3 hours straight. I've been trying to take what you would call a bit of a mental health break, and my sense of time is shot. Oh, and I have assignments to work on, but those are just like small things for participation marks before. I have to miss my last creative writing class tomorrow, which really sucks, but I have a doctor's appointment that I can't reschedule. It's not like they're doing much, it's like a showcase to read all your writing. And I never really liked my writing for that class, because it's like, it's a creative writing for children and young adults and teens and stuff like that. And I really don't do good with that demographic. It's I don't know, you have to like figure out what words middle grade kids will know, like perchance or so. Like, that's a bad example, but you know what I mean. And I always felt stuck whenever I was writing something for it, and I never felt proud of anything that I did. Definitely not proud enough to read in front of a class. But it does suck, because I love my creative writing teacher. She is a fantastic lady. But yeah, I can't reschedule this doctor's appointment, so hang on, I need to turn off my light. Okay. I almost fell off my chair. I almost just did not sit back down on my chair and fell directly on my ass. That would have been a fun audio experience. I'm not sure if my mic is going to be too loud. I'm trying to keep it relatively close to my face because sometimes it's too quiet, but now I think it's too loud, and I don't know what's going on. So who knows what the audio is going to be like on this video when it is a video and not just stream. Tumblr is adding a new feature and I want to kill myself. Sorry. I shouldn't make that joke. I don't know why I've started making that joke again. It's, shit, I really shouldn't. Hopefully I can actually get the game to work. That would be great. I haven't been streaming much, at all, really, but I am now, so, alright. I'm just gonna get right into it. I'm going to just start, because I'm curious to see if this game is going to allow itself to be captured. Okay. Oh, look at that! Holy crap, this game chugs my computer along, though. It is... I don't know if you can hear the fan, but the fan is, yeah. It's an issue. I'm gonna see if I can... Let's see if it works if I do it full screen. Okay, I don't think it does. Hang on. No, it doesn't work if it's full screen. Nuts. Whatever, that's fine. I can deal with it. Okay. I don't remember where I left off. Jeez Louise, it's loud. Everything is loud. The fan is loud, the game is loud. I don't remember quite where I left off. I was in the... Okay, yeah. Did I finish doing all the stuff with the mines? I'm gonna be, like, yelling, trying to talk over my freaking laptop fan. This is ridiculous. Hang on, I'm gonna check and see if you can actually hear how loud this fan is on stream, because if you can, that's gonna be annoying. Let me find... my oh my gosh dang stream. Okay, it's not that loud. Oh, but the window is not capturing correctly, as per usual. This one. There we go. This music is so freaking loud. Holy crap. Okay, I think I'm actually ready to play the game now. Alright. I'm gonna try this one more time. I'm gonna try to make it full screen one more time. Nope, never mind. Shouldn't have done that. This is just how I'm going to have to live. Sad and upset. Okay. Sorry for the delay. I can now not see out of my glasses. Heck and a half. I can't think with a stupid fan. Okay. Okay, yeah, so we just met Shop Guy, who seems to either have a cross on his shirt or visible abs. So good for him, I guess. Okay. Let me refamiliarize myself with the controls. Oh. Oh gosh, okay. What? How? Where did you come from? I come from the smoke mines. But how? What? But that's impossible. Not a single lamp works in there. You can't. Faith guides my steps. Faith? My mission is to purify the mines. But it seemed that the phantoms are particularly numerous. The specters. Where am I here? Oh no, okay. More exposition. More elements. I'm fine. You are here at the plastic administrations of Shatiata. I hope I don't have to say that too many times. In the north of Zone 1. Plastic administrations, does it say? Our work consists of filling in forms. Afterwards, we package them and wrap them up with string to send them to the courier service. There they ship the packages, and in exchange, we receive parcels full of plastic. There is a lot of liquid plastic that forms in our lakes and oceans, and then there is solid plastic used to make various objects. It's an essential element, the first among the 4 elements. I do not remember what numerical order these went in. Whoops. Oh. Oh, did I just opened Stardew Valley? Hang on. Wait a second. Hang on. Sorry. I just opened Stardew Valley, another tab. Because without plastic, the world would be limitless, and people would keep walking and walking without ever stopping. What is it that we walk on? Is it okay? So we have plastic, we have meat, we have steam, and metal. Which one of those things do we walk on? Wait, we don't have meat. It's metal, plastic, and smoke. But you hunt the specters? Really? Yes, I'm purifying the zone. The specters, I know where they come from. They all come from the Postal Service. The Postal Service? That's where we take care of sending the packaged forms. The problem is that, nobody can remember the floor where it's found. Helpful. My office is in the basement because there is no more space on the stories above, I suppose. Oh, okay. Oh gosh. Oh, I'm in the basement. Okay. Oh, wait, no, okay, that's... Oh, I love this music. What does this remind me of? This reminds me of Amori. Some of the places in Amori. second. Okay, so all of these numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 numbers, and I think the lift... 1, 2, 3... Yeah. No, I don't want to... Okay. So, all of these are going... What happens if I... Hang on, what happens if I just put in... It's 5, 5, 2, 9, 1, right? 2, 9, 1. Oh! It goes... Floor 1029... Wait. Hi, Zaro! Pepper Steak is the best video game soundtrack ever. Is that... What? I don't know what pepper steak is. Sounds delicious. Okay, wait, so why am I... Forms... Okay, so the format is form something, stamp something. Are you gonna... That's the title of the... Oh, okay, the... Yeah, it is pretty good music. That's one thing I really like about OFF, is, like, the sound design. I very much enjoy good sound designing games. I was just saying this, this post office music reminds me of Amori, which I really... Ugh, I need to play Amori again, but it's so long. Alright, let's go to the roof. It's the cat! What's your name again? You don't have a name. By Jove, you again? You are decidedly everywhere. One could believe you were following me. I need to trim my dog's nails? Yeah, you do that. That sounds like a good idea. Oh, my nose. Yeah, because can't they get, like, ingrown, like people's? Yet your footsteps have not deceived you, for you are here in a place that could certainly use sacred blows from your holy bat. Perhaps you are already aware of this, but it happens to be that the floor housing this administration's postal service is haunted by ectoplasms. It would be most judicious... This game is testing me. It would be most judicious to find the story where all these intangible monsters arise from post-haste in order to slay them. But could it be that this task is too arduous for your narrow mind? In which case, I might perhaps be able to provide you with advice. Some help. No, thanks. I salute your tenacity, but I will bear your insufferable arrogance in mind. Wait, I changed my mind. So will the final verdict be reached? Numerous employees are certainly in need of your muscular wrist. Yikes. Oh no, I can't ask for help. Oh dear. Yikes, okay. Ground floor reception. Okay, so this is just out here. I'm wondering if I need to find someone... Hello. The Queen's General has an office here, but his real house is in Alma. Thank you. I'm wondering if I need to find someone who says... Because it's, form something, form number, and then stamp number. I'm wondering if I need to find someone where the form number and the stamp number are the same. Because that's definitely something. Oh, form 2584. 2584-10258. These people are saying 2584. What? Because these guys are standing still. Okay, now everything in here is different. Now, okay. I think, wait, no, I think I get it. All these guys are saying the same thing. So, 10258. I need to find a number that's repeated among multiple guys. 10298. 380... What is 38068? What? What is this? Why 38068? Are you gonna say the same things? No? I thought I knew what I didn't. I was a fool. I think I should probably be paying better attention to... 1718. Weird. Okay. Form and stamp. Because the form and the stamp numbers, that's gonna be the floor. It has something to do with that, right? Like, okay, wait. So these guys are all chill. They're not saying the same things, but the people in this area are, which is weird. 2584. So is it 02584? Is that something? Oh, hello. Lost property office. Okay, interesting. Piece of abandoned meat. This container is impure. Oh, okay. Oh, I don't remember how to fight. It's been too long. Okay. Attack. Batter. Competence. Right angle. Alpha. Oh. One inspector. Cutting ectoplasmic information. Light weakness against metal. Yikes. I'm just gonna attack until... No. What? Okay. Alpha's attacks are working and the batters aren't, I don't think. Never mind, they are. I'm just, not paying attention. Alpha achieved level 4. Expected bracket. Is that competence? No, that's a object. Nope, that's a competence. Special attack inflicting poison. Cool. Okay. So... interesting. I still don't know the answer to this puzzle. I'm gonna go back down and talk to these fools again. Oh, okay. Is there another room where they're all saying the same thing? This one? No. It's just the one on the top. Wait, does the positioning of the office have something to... No, because all the offices are laid out differently. Okay, wait, what was your thing? 2584, 10258. I remember 10258. Oh, did I just put it in wrong last time? Or do I have to... Okay, I solved the puzzle, I guess. No one? It's not... If I have to do a moving box puzzle, I'm gonna cry. Oh. I'm the batter. Where are the phantoms? I'm very afraid. Help me. Oh. Oh! Employee of zonal and poor health. No weaknesses or resistances. Okay, we'll just get him. That's such good music. It's gonna be in my head tonight. Maybe it's his suit that is taking control of his brain. Strange. Okay. Something strange is written on this form. First version. They lie 6 feet under, surrounded by hot metal and liquid plastic. 6 feet. Metal and plastic. I don't know, it's gonna come in somewhere later. Oh! Do I know what these guys are? Nope. Hybers. Flying ghoul with bad intentions. No weaknesses or resistances. Okay. Party what? Oh. I need to restore the batter's competencies. Competencies? I received. Hello? I analyze the enemy's character. Oh, okay, so it's just like the batter's. Like the batter's deal. Second version. They are 8 and they have long beards. They okay. I need to. Where'd my notebook go? Okay. I have a sketchbook that I don't really use anymore. Paper from it that has things on it that I don't know what they are. Okay. What was it before? It was 6. So this one's 8. Like 8. They watch what is happening from their high silver spheres. I don't think the rest of the text. I think it's just the numbers I have to pay attention to. Oh, this is probably going to be a. Oh, okay. Probably going to be a blah, blah, blah. Probably going to need to be a floor I need to go on to help. Ooh, Alpha's not doing too good. It's doing fine though. I have a bad habit of overhealing. Okay, so the other one was 6, right? I don't know for sure. Yeah, 6 feet under. 6 and 8. I think this is going to be a floor that I need to go to on the elevator. That is my guess, because that is usually how these things go. Okay. Do I have a competence that's, No. I don't think I have one that, like... that attacks all enemies, because those are usually my go-tos when I have more than one thing. I might get one of those if I get another ring, though. What are these called? Add-ons? Okay. On the lookout for more notes. I am so cold. Aura of Justice. Oh! Okay, so this is... What's the Aura of Justice? Wait. Does Alpha have any defenses? I'll put the Aura of Justice on the batter. Okay. Okay, weird. I need to get more notes. I thought... Because that was the floor that I entered on. That's the floor at the left. Oh, I see. I see. There's more stairs over here. I just didn't notice. Okay, 2 of 3. Interesting. A sole big insect whose mandibles spit meat. Right? That's one. And there's... This is the third version that I read, right? Yes. Oh. Startled me. I'm gonna attack this dude and do poison on this guy. Oh, that just killed him. Thought I was gonna want a more long-term thing there. Okay, note. Employee guys have more health, it seems, than the, Oh, Alpha is not doing good. Hang on. Thankfully, I have luck tickets. Batter's good for now. Okay. Something about, like, the way that... Something about this game is, like, I don't easily pay attention to how much HP and CP they have. Fourth version. There are 4. Each one attributes you an element. They protect the respective crystals. 6, 8, 1, 4. Unless there are more. There might be, but I think there's something over here. Oh, it's just more stairs. There is another one. 5th version. 5 like the fingers on a hand, their lungs produce primordial smoke. 68145. Neat. So that's where we'll be going next. Ugh, my eyes hurt. This is not a good allergy season for me. I'm struggling. Access to the secret elevator is forbidden. Did I say secret? Understood. Good. There's another note here. Something strange in this room. Oh, there's another one. There are but 2 in the secret zone. Weird. Okay. There's only 5. There's only 5 possible numbers you can put in on the elevator, though. Oh, okay. Okay, it turns out that attack from Alpha is just really strong. I can never follow what's happening in these battles. Okay, so weird, okay. How many times am I gonna say weird in this stream? Okay, so I'm gonna go back down to the lift. Maybe yeah, because there's only 5, but there's 6 numbers. If I do it... No. What if I do it without the 1? Did that do anything? Probably not. Nope. Oh, no, I didn't pay attention to the postal service. 4 number, hang on. I'm gonna write this down as well because I'm gonna need to go back. 10258. Ow! Wait, no, it's not 10258. It's 02584. Sorry, I just stabbed myself with my pen. I'll go to the roof first and see if this guy has anything to say about my progress. Never mind. Oh, 2. Oh no, it's just this one. It was 10258, I think. 1, 2. Yes. Okay. Weird. Okay. I have to go back. Oh, wait. I think I know what these notes are for. Hang on. I think to get onto the secret elevator, this guy's gonna ask me questions. I have played this game before. I just don't remember anything about it. But there are some things coming back to me, which I think is this. I think I remember doing this bit. Let's pass. Okay. Really? No, I think that's impossible. Unless you have the code. Yes, I do have the code actually. the code, it is exactly correct. How? You must not pass. And you're gonna attack me. I don't want to die. I'm sorry. This competency quiz. This is a good one. Sorry. Sorry. I killed a man that didn't want to die. I'm going to Alma. It will be nice. Okay. What? Jeez Louise. Stop startling me. I'm just gonna spam attack. Ow. My hand still hurts from when I slashed it with the pen. The batter achieved level 5. Neat. Okay. Ooh, nice. The director's office. Okay. I want to double check that I saved. Cool. Oh, what was this guy's voice? Pitiful bastards! Disappear this instant! This is my zone. You are not to be here. Oh, that really gave me a voice. Out of my sight, you fucking phantoms! Thanks. You. It's you, the source of all my troubles. The ectoplasmic lord who has set his fucking sights on my beloved zone. What do you want? Why have you decided to be such a pain in my ass? I've dedicated my whole life to this place. You have no right to corrupt it with your pathetic phantoms. Begone! Do I have to fight you? You're mistaken. I'm not a phantom. I'm a purifier. I've come to cleanse the world of these ectoplasmic beings. How dare you respond? And how dare you think I will just swallow these insults? Listen well. This is simple. Get out of here and take your goddamn specters with you, or I'm going to kill you. I hope for your sake that I have made myself clear. If I see you again, you're dead. Oh, I thought that was going to be a boss battle. The tramway will now stop in Alma. Nice. Sick and cool. Anyways. Send to ground floor. To ground floor. I have the number for the post office written down, so... Oh wait, should I go... I should go back up to the roof and talk to Mr. Guy. The cat? The judge. That was his name, right? Yeah, he's still here. Talk to me? Okay, no, never mind. Fuck you. Oh, wait, no. This is the basement. Nope. Okay. So now I can go to... Alma. I think I've been to all the other places already. Like, there's no way that I wouldn't have been. Hello. I am not allowed to let anyone pass. Unless they answer some questions. Later. Oh gosh. Okay. Okay, here we go. Okay. March 18th. So, March 18th, wind, week 11, 2007, 288 days. Oh, whoops, daisies. Up, down, observe, left, right. I am observing. Okay, now it's working. There's an upside down 7 on the 1. I'm just like writing down all these things that I think might be necessary. Fourth Sunday of Lent. And it's Sunday. Saint Cyril of Jerusalem. Saint Cyril. Okay, actually, no, I shouldn't need to. I'll just ask the guy the questions, get them wrong, and then answer the questions. Two of them come from Jerusalem. And, oh gosh, I don't know. Holy Trinity is made from... Lady, where's the jersey number? How many threes are there in June? Cyril, Kevin. One more of your answers are false. Okay, I've immediately forgotten what he said. Hang on. Two of them come from Jerusalem. Okay, so it's another city aside from Jerusalem. So it's either Lourdes or Louvain. Louvain. Oh, you want to go to Vienna? Or to Vienna? I know I could do this on my phone, but I always... Holy Trinity is made of roses, crocuses, or winds. Assuming that's going to be winds. Lady, where's the jersey number? Jersey number 4, 6, or 8. How many threes are there in June? 17, 19, or 22. So I just am writing down the... Oh my gosh. Alexander, Jonas, Charles. Can I be done? Okay, cool. Let's see. Let's investigate. Okay. Saint Cyril of Jerusalem. Saint Kevin. No, wait, Saint Kevin and Saint Jonas. Jonas is an answer. The month of crocuses, the month of roses, the month of... So roses is all circled, so roses. So 2 from Jerusalem. St. Alexander, Jerusalem, Orda. Okay. How many threes are there in June? Was another one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 21. 21 is not an answer, so it has to be 22. Wait. 4, 6, or 8. Our lady, where's the jersey number? 4, 6, or 8. Who is our lady? Lady of Lourdes. Oh, okay, 6. There's 6 dots. If that 6 dots thing is right, I'm gonna be very proud of myself. Because I have such a thing about... I'll talk about it in a second, hang on. Okay. Answer questions. 2 of them come from Jerusalem and 1 from Orda. Holy Trinity is made of roses. Where's the jersey number 6? How many threes are there in June? There's 22. And Jonas. All your answers are correct! Sweet! Oh, but there's one more question. If you turn... Oh! Wait. 2-digit number? There's only a 7. Oh, 87. Okay. That's correct. Okay, cool. I'll talk about my 6s later. I'll just attack them a bunch. Banger music. Alright, stop missing. Okay, cool. So I'm very excited that jersey number question was... My nails are all dirty. I'm sorry. I'm very excited that jersey number question was correct because the 6 dots were arranged in the way that the dots are on a die. And ever since I was little, I've always pictured numbers the way that they are on dice, I mean. So anytime I need to count 5 of something, I arrange it in my head of like what the 5 looks like on a die, and like the 3s are always diagonal in my brain. It's weird, but that made me very happy because 6 is a big one for the. Okay, I'm here to say Daedon, Daddy. Okay, Daedon. Yes, yes, of course. That was the guy I just fought with, right? Okay, more history lesson. You are here at the meat fountains of Alma, in the center of Zone 1. Here, meat flows freely, endlessly filling these immense metal pools in which we find ourselves. Our work consists of pouring this meat into bottles before the fountains overflow. The meat is then sent to everyone, to those living in Zone 1 and the others. Aren't the other zones in, like, different dimensions? It's an essential element, the first among the 4 elements. Okay, I was not paying attention to... Didn't they all say they were the first? Because without meat, people would have nothing to eat, and they would devour each other. Master Daedon has an office at the center of the fountains, but nobody has ever found it. Generally speaking, Master Daedon seems to only appear when necessary. Well, there. Who are you again? I've come to liberate the world of malignants. Oh, really? Well then. Can you liberate me? Jesus, that scared me. I had the volume turned up to hear the the music for the, because I like the soundtrack for the little environmental storytelling thing, or the freaking exposition thing where they talk about the elements. I like the soundtrack for that, so I had it turned up, and it sounds just like right in my ears. I hope that jump scared whoever was listening. Maybe things will be better now. So do they just die when I do that? Oh, hi. Bonjour. Oh, I forgot I named myself Blue. Like that. Bonjour, Blue. In good form. Perhaps you have some credits to spare? Here's poison. Oh, yep. 2. No, not 11. Get 2 of those. Just in case. You have the audacious symbol already. Persistent symbol. I'll get that. Or justice. Oh no, cancel. You already have that. Color of Wrath is defensive equipment. Okay. Oh, not 11. There we go. Okay. Do you have anything that... Here's poison for the million HP. I have enough luck to... I'll get a couple more luck tickets. Make it an even 20. Do you have anything that does the CP? Competence points? The block prevents access to the central part of the fountains. Okay. I think I'm going to be done with, off now, actually. That's just that's a nice little place to end it, I think. I don't know if I'm going to be done with the stream. I kind of want to do some reading, but I don't have anything lined up to read. And, if I do that, I'm going to have to go back into the VOD and, like, pick out the part where I did off. Whatever. That's not as big of an issue as I'm making it out to be. There's gotta be something I can read. I was reading Insomnia last time, but I do not want to do Insomnia without, like, doing some frickin' vocal warm-ups or something. Because that one's really hard on my, my talking. I only want to gonna do Night Circus at Mud is here because they were there for the first one. And even though I'm probably gonna be doing Night Circus over again, who knows? I could do more Stairs in the Woods. Let me see. Let me see if I can find the original Stairs in the Woods posts. Not Stairs in the Woods. R// Stairs in the Woods. Stories Master. Oh, hell yeah. Okay. Neat. Oh god, I don't want to expose my frickin' Reddit communities. Not anything bad, just feels too personal. Let's go dark mode. Whoa, whoops. Sorry, I'm just like messing around on Reddit now trying to figure out things. Whoa, nope. I view this as just a guest. Can I log out? Nice, okay, cool. Can I make this big? Can I make it big on my screen instead of... Not. I'll just read it, and put my little record thing on. Alright, this is gonna be fun. I'm excited. I have my ambiance on. How spooky. I don't know how loud it is compared to me. Hang on. Okay, it needs to be louder. This is what I am learning. Okay, how's that? How's that, with my voice? Sorry, I'm not asking anyone, I'm just trying to talk over it so I can hear it on my own stream. That seems good. Sounds good. Okay. Sorry, I need to take a bit of a moment to chill, I think. And bring down the energy. Spooky story. Okay. So, last time I did Stairs in the Woods, I went over the first Reddit post, because this whole thing is a compilation of short stories on r/NoSleep. And so last time I went over the first one, and I haven't gone farther than that yet, so that is what I'm going to do tonight. Okay. Whoa. How do I zoom in? Help. Okay. So, what this is a series of posts, and it talks about a search and rescue officer, I suppose you could call him, who comes across a lot of strange things in his career. And one of the strangest is a bunch of fully formed stairs, sans buildings, just out in the middle of the woods. Okay. Here we go. So I logged back on tonight and was blown away by the staggering amount of interest this seems to have generated. And immediately I need to stop to zoom in again. I'm sorry. First off, I'll address a few things that you guys have brought up. There's been an overwhelming amount of people mentioning the similarity between some of my stories and those of David Paulides. I assure you I'm not trying to rip him off in any way. I've got nothing but respect for the guy. He's what actually inspired me to write this, because I can verify a lot of the things he talks about. We do have a lot of these strange missing persons cases, and most of the time they aren't solved. Either that, or we find them in places they have no business being. I personally haven't been on many calls like that, but I'll share a few that I've seen, and a story my friend told me relates to this. There is a lot of feedback about the stairs, so I'll touch on that briefly here, and I'll also include a story. They come in a variety of shapes, sizes, styles, and conditions. Some are pretty dilapidated, just ruins, but others are brand new. I saw one set that looked like they came from a lighthouse. They were metal and spiral, almost old-fashioned. The stairs don't go up infinitely or farther than I can see, but some sets are taller than others. Like I said before, just imagine the stairs in your house as if someone cut and pasted them in the middle of nowhere. I don't have any pictures. It's never really occurred to me to try again after the first time, and I don't really feel like risking my job over it. I'll try again in the future, but I can't really promise anything. A few people expressed confusion about the guy who ran into the man with the no face. Just to clarify, Okay, this has nothing to do with it. On to the news stories. As far as missing persons go, I'd say about half the calls I get are related to that. The others are rescue calls. People who fall down cliffs and hurt themselves, get injured by fire. You wouldn't believe how often this happens, mostly drunk kids. Get bitten or stung by animals or insects. We're a tight team, and we have veterans who are excellent at finding signs of lost people. That's what makes these cases where we never find any trace of them so frustrating. One in particular was upsetting for all of us, because we did find a trace of them, but it just led to more questions than answers. An older man had been hiking alone on a well-established trail, but his wife called to say that he hadn't come home when he should have. Apparently he had a history of seizures, and she was worried that he hadn't taken his medication and suffered one out on the trail. Before you ask, I have no idea why he thought it was okay to go out alone or why she didn't go with him. I don't ask about that kind of thing because past a certain point it doesn't really matter. Someone is missing, and it's my job to find them. We went out in a standard search formation, and it wasn't long before one of our vets found signs that the guy had gone off the trail. We grouped up and followed him, spreading out in a fan to make sure we were covering as much ground as possible. Suddenly, a call comes over the radio, telling us all to head back to the vet's location. And we come right away because this usually means the missing person is injured, and we need a full team to help them get out safely. We meet back up, and the vet is just standing at the base of a tree with his hands on the sides of his head. I ask my buddy what's going on, and he points up into the branches of the tree. I almost couldn't believe what I was seeing, but there's a walking stick dangling from a branch at least 30 feet off the ground. The little strap on the handle has been looped around the branch, and it's just hanging there. There's no way the guy could have tossed it up that far, and we don't see any other signs that he's still in the area. We call up into the tree, but it's obvious that no one's in it. We're all just left sort of scratching our heads. We keep searching for this guy, but we never find him. We even bring our canines out, but they lose scent long before the tree. Eventually, the search is called off, because there are other calls we have to attend to, and past a certain point, there's not much we can do. This guy's wife called us every day for months, asking if we'd found her husband. And it was heartbreaking to hear her get more and more hopeless each time. I'm not sure why this call in particular was so upsetting, but I think it was just the sheer improbability of it. Did someone kill him and toss that up there as some weird trophy? We did our best to find him, but it was almost like a taunt. We still talk about that one from time to time. Missing kids are the most heartbreaking. Doesn't matter what circumstances they go missing under, it's never easy. And we always dread the ones we find deceased. It's not common, but it does happen. David Paulides talks a lot about kids SAR teams find in places they shouldn't be or couldn't be. I can honestly say I've heard about this kind of thing happening more than I've seen it, but I'll share one of the ones that I think about a lot that I witnessed personally. A mother and her 3 kids were out for a picnic in an area of the park that has a small lake. One is 6, one is 5, and the other is about 3. She's watching them all really closely, and according to her, she never lets them out of her sight at any time. She never saw anyone else in the area either, which is important. She packs their stuff up, and they start to head back to the parking area. Now, this lake is only about 2 miles into the woods, and it's on a very clearly established trail. It's almost impossible to get lost from the parking lot area to it, unless you're deliberately going off the path like an imbecile. Her kids are walking in front of her when she hears what sounds like someone coming up the path behind. She turns around, and in the 4 or so seconds she's not looking, her 5-year-old son vanishes. She figures he stepped off the trail to pee or something, and asks her other 2 where he went. They both tell her that a big man with a scary face came out of the woods next to him, took the kid's hand, and led him into the trees. The two remaining kids don't seem upset. In fact, she says later that it seems like they've been drugged. They're sort of spacey and fuzzy. So of course she freaks out, starts looking frantically in the area for her kid. She's screaming his name and says at one point she thinks she heard him answer her. Now, obviously, she can't go blindly running into the woods. She's got the other two kids, so she calls the police and they send us out immediately. We respond and we start the search for him. Over the course of the search, which spans miles, we never find a single trace of the kid. Canines can't pick up any scent. We don't find any clothing or broken bushes or literally anything that would signify a child being there. Of course, there are suspicions about the mother for a while, but it's pretty clear that she's completely destroyed by the whole thing. We look for this kid for weeks with a lot of volunteer help, but eventually the search peters out and we have to move on. The volunteers keep searching though, and one day we get a call on the radio letting us know that a body has been found and needs to be recovered. They tell us the location and none of us can believe it. We figure it has to be a different kid. But we go out there, about 15 miles from the site where he vanished, and sure enough, we find the body of the kid we've been looking for. I've been trying to figure out how this kid got where he did ever since we found him, and I've never come up with an answer. A volunteer just happened to be in the area because he figured he might as well look in places no one else would think to, on the off chance that the body had been dumped. He comes to the base of a tall, rocky slope, and halfway up, he sees something. He looks through his binoculars, and sure enough, it's the body of a little boy, stuffed in a little opening in the rock. He recognizes the color of the kid's shirt, so he knows right away that it's the missing boy. That's when he calls it in, and we're dispatched. It took us almost an hour to get his body down, and none of us could believe what we were seeing. Not only was this kid 15 miles from where he'd started, there was no possible way he could have gotten up there on his own. The slope is treacherous, and it's hard for us even with our climbing gear. A 5-year-old boy had no way of getting up there, of that I'm certain. Not only that, but the kid doesn't have a scratch on him. His shoes are gone, but his feet aren't damaged or dirty, so it wasn't as if an animal dragged him up there. And from what we can tell, he hasn't been dead for that long. He'd been out there over a month by that point, and it looked like he'd only been dead for, at most, a day or two. The whole thing was unbelievably strange, and was one of the most disconcerting calls I've ever been on. We found out later that the coroner determined the kid had died from exposure. He'd frozen to death, probably late at night, 2 days before we found him. There were no suspects, and no answers. To date, it's one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. Taking a brief pause here because I realized that I forgot to change the stream category. So that's nice. Okay. Cool. Fixed the stream thing. Alright, and I can continue. One of my first jobs as a trainee was a search op for a 4-year-old kid that had gotten separated from his mom. This was one of those cases where we knew we were going to find him because the dogs were on a strong scent trail and we saw clear signs that he was in the area. We ended up finding him in a berry patch about half a mile from where he'd been last seen. Kid wasn't even aware that he'd wandered that far. One of the vets brought him back, which I was glad for because I'm really not good with kids and I find it hard to talk to them and keep them company. As my trainer and I are headed back, she decides to take me on a detour to show me one of the hot spots where we tend to find missing people. It's a natural dip in the land near a popular trail, and people will usually move downhill because it's easier. We hike out there, it's a few miles away, and we get there in about an hour or so. As we're walking around the area and she's pointing out places she's found people in the past, I see something in the distance. Now, this area we're in is about 8 miles from the main parking area, though there's back roads you can take to get closer if you don't want to hike that far. But we're on state-protected land, which means that there can't be any kind of commercial or residential development out here. The most you'll ever see is a fire tower or a makeshift shelter that homeless people think they can get away with building. Wait a second. This is the original story. This is the original Stare in the Woods story. That's strange. I might have already read this one. That's really weird. Sorry about that. Okay. I'm gonna go to the next post then. It was said it was the last, or the second one. Alright. I'm probably gonna only do this post because I'm getting a headache. So here are just some answers to the questions and all that. And I'm not gonna read them because they're not really important to this. So, let's move on to the stories. The first happened on a case that I went out on right after I got out of training and was still pretty new to everything. Before I took this job, I was a volunteer, so I had a basic idea of what to expect. But on those calls, you're mostly dealing with finding lost people after vets have found signs of them. As an SAR officer, you go out for all kinds of cases, from animal bites to heart attacks. This case got called in early in the morning from a young couple who were up on one of the trails that goes by the lake. The husband was completely hysterical. We couldn't really figure out what was going on. We could hear the woman screaming in the background, and he was begging us to come up there right away. When we get there, we see him holding his wife, and she's got something in her arms. She's screaming these awful, almost animal-like screams, and he's sobbing. He sees us, and he screams at us to help them, to please get an ambulance up there. Now, obviously, we can't just drive an ambulance up the walking path, so we ask him if his wife needs help or if she can walk on her own. He's still hysterical, but he manages to tell us that it's not his wife that needs help. I go over while one of the vets tries to calm him down, and I ask the wife what's going on. She's rocking, holding something, and just shrieking over and over. I crouch down and see that whatever she's holding, it's covered her with blood. That's when I notice the sling on her front, and my heart sinks. I ask her to tell me what's going on, and I sort of pry her arms gently open so I can see what she's holding. It's her baby, obviously dead. His head is caved in on one side, and he's covered in scratches. Now, I've seen dead bodies before, but something about this whole situation hits me hard. I have to take a second to compose myself, and I get up and go get one of the other vets who's standing by. I tell him that it's a dead kid, and he sort of pats my shoulder and tells me he'll deal with it. It took us over an hour to get this woman to let us see her kid. Every time we try to take him from her, she flips out and tells us we can't have him, that he'll be okay if we just leave her alone and let her help him. But eventually, one of the vets manages to calm her down, and she gives us the body. We took it back to the med area, but when the EMTs showed up, they told us that there was never any hope of saving the kid. He died instantly from trauma to his head. I was good buddies with one of the nurses who met them at the hospital, and she told me later what had happened. Turns out the couple had been walking with the baby in the sling, and they stopped because the kid was fussing. The dad takes the kid and is holding him, looking out over this little gully by the path. Then the mom comes to stand next to him, but she ends up stepping on a loose patch of soil, and she trips. She falls into the dad, who drops the kid, who ends up falling about 20 feet down this little gully onto the rocks at the bottom. The dad climbed down and recovered the kid, but he'd fallen right on his head and was dead by the time he got there. The baby was only about 15 months old. It was a total freak accident, a series of events that coalesced into the worst possible outcome. Probably one of the more awful calls I've been on. I haven't seen a lot of animal bites in my time as an SAR officer, mostly because there aren't that many animals that come around the area. While there are bears in the area, they tend to stay pretty far away from people, and sightings are highly unusual. Most of the animals you'll see are small ones, like coyotes or raccoons or skunks. What we do see frequently, though, are moose. And let me tell you, moose are nasty fuckers. They'll chase after anything for any reason, and God help you if you get in between a female and its baby. One of the more amusing calls was of a guy who'd gotten chased down by an absolutely massive male moose and was stuck up in a tree. It took us almost an hour to get him down, and when he was finally on solid ground again, he looks at me and says, "God damn, them fuckers is big up close." I guess it's not really a scary story, but we still laugh about that one. I honestly don't know how I'd forgotten this story, but it is, by far, the scariest thing that's happened to me. I guess maybe I've tried so long to forget about it that it just doesn't come to mind right away. As someone who spends literally all of their time in the woods, you don't ever want to let yourself get scared of being alone or out in the middle of nowhere. That's why, when you have experiences like this, you tend to just forget about them and move on. This is, to date, the only thing that's ever made me really seriously consider if this job is the right one for me. I don't really like talking about it much, but I'll do the best I can to remember it all. As I recall, this took place right at the end of spring. It was a typical lost child call. A 4-year-old girl had wandered away from her family's campsite and had been missing for about 2 hours. Her parents were completely despondent and told us what most parents do. My kid would never wander away, she's so good about staying close, she's never done anything like this before. We assured the parents that we'll do everything we can to find her, and we spread out in a standard search formation. I was partnered with one of my good buddies, and we were sort of casually holding conversation while we hiked. I know it sounds callous, but you do sort of become desensitized when you've done this long enough. It becomes the norm, and I think, to a certain extent, you have to learn to desensitize yourself in order to work this job. We searched for a good 2 hours, going well beyond where we think she'd be, and we come out of a small valley when something makes us both stop in unison. We freeze and look at each other. There's almost a sensation like a plane depressurizing. My ears pop, and I have this odd sensation of being dropped about 10 feet. I start to ask my buddy if he felt that, but before I can, we hear the loudest sound I've ever heard in my life. It's almost like a freight train passing directly by us, but it's coming from every direction at once, including above and below us. He screams something to me, but I can't hear him over this deafening roar. Understandably freaked out, we look all around us, trying to find the source of the sound, but neither of us sees anything. Of course, my first thought is a landslide, but we're not near any cliffs, and even if we were, it would have hit us by now. The sound goes on, and we're trying to yell to each other, but even standing close together, we can't hear anything but this sound. Then, as suddenly as it starts, it stops, like someone threw a switch and cut it off. We stand there for a second, perfectly still, and slowly the normal sounds of the woods come back. He asks me what the fuck just happened, but I just kind of shrug, and we stand there looking at each other for a minute. I get on the radio and ask if anyone else just heard the end of the fucking world, but no one else hears it, even though we're all within shouting distance of each other. My buddy and I just sort of shrug it off and keep going. About an hour later, we all check up on the radios, and no one's found the little girl. Most of the time we won't search when it gets dark, but because we don't have any kind of lead on her, a few of us decide to keep going, including me and my buddy. We keep close together, and we're calling out for her every couple of minutes. At this point, I'm hoping beyond hope that we find her, because while I might not like kids, the idea of them being out all alone in the dark is awful. The woods can be intimidating to kids in the daylight. At night, well, it's a whole different beast. But we're not seeing any signs of her or getting any responses, and around midnight, we decide to turn around and head back to the rendezvous point. We're about halfway back when my buddy stops and shines his light to the right of us, into a really thick deadfall or group of dead trees. I ask him if he's heard a response, but he just tells me to be quiet a second and listen. I do, and in the distance, I can hear what sounds like a kid crying. We both call the girl's name and listen for any kind of response, but it's just this really faint crying. We head in the direction of the deadfall and go around it, calling her name over and over. As we get closer to the crying, I start getting this weird feeling in my gut, and I tell my buddy that something isn't right. He tells me he feels the same way, but we can't figure out what it is. We stop where we are and call the girl's name again, and at the same time, we both figure it out. The crying is on a loop. It's the same little hitching sob, then wail, then quiet hiccup, repeated over and over. It's exactly the same every time, and without saying another word, we both take off running. It's the only time I've ever lost my composure like that, but something about it was so incredibly wrong, and neither of us wanted to stay out there anymore. When we got back to the rendezvous, we asked if anyone else had heard anything strange, but no one else knew what we were talking about. I know it sounds sort of anticlimactic, but that call fucked me up for a long time. As for the little girl, we never found a trace of her. We keep an eye out for her. and all the other people who we never found, but frankly, I doubt we'll ever find anything. Of the missing persons calls I've gone out on, only a handful have ever resulted in a complete disappearance, meaning no trace of the person and no body ever found. But sometimes, finding a body just leads to more questions than answers. Here are some of the bodies we found that have become infamous in our team. A teenage boy whose remains were discovered almost a year after he vanished. We found the top of his skull, 2 finger bones, and his camera almost 40 miles from where he was last seen. The camera, sadly, was destroyed. The pelvis of an older man who had vanished a month earlier. That was all we found. The lower jaw and right foot of a 2-year-old boy on the highest peak of a ridge in the southern part of the park. The body of a 10-year-old girl with Down syndrome, almost 20 miles from where she'd vanished. She had died of exposure 3 weeks after going missing, and all of her clothes were intact except for her shoes and jacket. There were berries and cooked meat in her stomach when they did the autopsy. The coroner said it appeared as if someone had been taking care of her. There were no suspects ever identified. The frozen body of a 1-year-old baby, found a week after vanishing in the hollow trunk of a tree 10 miles from where he'd seen last. There was fresh milk found in his stomach, but his tongue was gone. A single vertebrae and right kneecap of a 3-year-old girl, found in the snow almost 20 miles from the campground her family had been at the previous summer. Now on to a couple of the stories my friend told me. I mentioned that you all were interested in the stairs, and you're in luck. He's had a close encounter with them. Though he doesn't have any explanation for them, he does have a bit more experience with them than I do. My buddy has been an SAR officer for about 7 years. He started when he was a junior in college, and he had a very similar experience when he first encountered the stairs. His trainer told him almost the same thing mine did, which was never to go near, touch, or ascend them. For the first year, he did just that, but apparently his curiosity got the better of him, and on one call he broke away from the line and went to go check a set of them out. He said they were about 10 miles from the path where a teenage girl had vanished, and the dogs were following the scent. He was on his own, lagging behind the main group, when he saw a set of stairs off to his left. They looked like they were from a new house, because the carpeting was pristine and white. He said that, as he got closer, he didn't feel any different or hear any weird noises. He was expecting something to happen, like bleeding from his ears or collapsing, but he got right up to them and didn't feel anything. The only thing, he said, that was odd was that there was absolutely no debris on the steps. No dirt, leaves, dust, or anything. And there didn't appear to be any signs of animal or insect activity in the immediate area, which he found strange. It was less like things were avoiding them and more like they just happened to be in a relatively barren part of the forest. He touched the stairs and didn't feel anything except that sort of sticky feeling you get from new carpet. Making sure his radio was on, he slowly climbed the stairs. He said it was terrifying because of the way they'd been stigmatized. He wasn't really sure what was going to happen to him. He joked that half of him expected to be teleported to some other dimension, and the other half was watching for a UFO to come swooping down. But he got to the top with little event, and he stood there, looking around. But he said the longer he stood on that top step, the more he felt like he was doing something very, very wrong. He described it as the feeling you get if you were in a part of the government building you had no business being in, as if someone was going to come and arrest you, or shoot you in the back of the head at any second. He tried to brush it off, but the feeling got stronger and stronger, and that's when he realized he couldn't hear anything anymore. The sounds of the forest were gone, and he couldn't even hear his own breathing. It was like some kind of weird, awful tinnitus, but more oppressive. He climbed back down and rejoined the search, and didn't mention what he'd done. But, he said, the weirdest part came after. His trainer was waiting back at the Welcome Center after the search ended for the day, and he cornered my buddy before he could leave. He said his trainer had this look of intense anger, and he asked what was wrong. "You went up them, didn't you?" My buddy said it wasn't phrased as a question. He asked how his trainer knew. The trainer just shook his head. "Because we didn't find her. The dogs lost her scent." My buddy asked what that had to do with anything. The trainer asked how long he'd been on the stairs, and my buddy said no more than a minute. The trainer gave him this really awful, almost dead-eyed look, and told him that if he ever went up another set of stairs again, he'd be fired. Immediately. The trainer walked away, and I guess he's never answered any of the questions my buddy has been asking about it since. My buddy has been involved in a lot of missing persons cases where there's never been a trace of them found. I mentioned David Paulides, and my buddy said he can confirm that those stories are true. Stories are, for the most part, accurate. He said that most of the time, if the person isn't found right away, they're either never found or they're found weeks, months, or years later in places they can't possibly have gotten to. One story he told me really stood out. One story he told me that really stood out involved a 5-year-old with a severe mental disability. The little boy vanished from a picnic area in the late fall. In addition to the mental disability, he was also physically handicapped, and his parents explained over and over that he simply could not have vanished. It was impossible. Someone had to have taken him. My buddy said they searched for this kid for weeks, going miles out of the accepted range, but it was like he'd never been there. The dogs couldn't pick up his scent anywhere, not even in the picnic areas where he'd apparently vanished from. Suspicion fell on the parents, but it was pretty clear that they were devastated and hadn't done anything sinister to their kid. The search was concluded about a month later, and my buddy said everyone had pretty much forgotten about it by later in the winter. He was out on a training op in the snow on one of the higher peaks, and he came across something in the snow. He said he saw it from far away at first, and when he got closer, he realized that it was a shirt, frozen and sticking part way out of the powder. He recognized it as belonging to the kid, because it had a distinctive pattern. About 20 yards away, he found the kid's body, lying partially buried in the snow. My buddy said there was no way the kid had been dead for any more than a few days, even though he'd been missing for almost 3 months. The kid was curled around something, and when my buddy brushed off the snow to see what it was, he said he almost couldn't believe what he was seeing. It was a big chunk of ice that had been carved crudely to look sort of like a person. The kid was holding it so tight that it had frostbitten his chest and hands, which my buddy could tell, even with the decay that had taken place. He radioed the rest of the crew, and they took the body off the mountain. Now, he recapped all this for me, and to put it simply, there was no way this kid could have survived for almost 3 months on his own, or have gotten to this peak. There was no physical way this child could have walked almost 50 miles and ended up on the top of the goddamn mountain. To top it off, there was nothing in the kid's stomach or colon. Nothing, not even water. It was like, my buddy said, the kid had been taken off the face of the earth, put in suspended animation, and dropped on this mountain months later, only to die of exposure. He's never really gotten over that one. The last story I'll share from him is one that took place relatively recently, over a few months ago. They were out doing a recon for mountain lions, because there have been several reports of sightings in the last couple of days. One of our jobs is to scout out the areas where these animals are seen, to ensure that, if they are in the area, we can warn people and close off those trails. He was out on his own in a very heavily forested part of the park toward dusk when he heard what sounded like a woman screaming in the distance. Now, as most of you know, when a mountain lion screams, it sounds almost exactly like a woman being brutally murdered. It's unsettling, but far from abnormal. My buddy radioed back and let Ops know that he'd heard one, and that he was going to keep going to see if he could find out where his territory started. He heard the mountain lion scream a couple more times, always from the same spot, and determined the approximate area of the mountain lion's territory. He was about to head back when he heard another scream, this time within only a few yards of him. Of course, he freaks out and starts heading back at a much faster pace, because the last thing he wants to run into is a goddamn mountain lion and get mauled to death. As he got back on the path and started heading back, the screaming followed him, and he broke into a jog. When he was about a mile from Ops, the screaming stopped, and he turned around to see if it was following him. It was almost night by that point, but he said in the distance, just before the path rounded a corner, he could see what looked like a male figure. He called out to them, warning them that the paths were closed and that he needed to come back to the welcome center. The figure just stood there, and my buddy started to walk over. When he was about 10 yards away, the figure took, as he described, an impossibly long step towards him, and let out the same scream my buddy had been hearing. My buddy didn't even say anything. He just turned and sprinted back to Ops, never looking behind him. By the time he got back, the screaming had moved back into the woods. He didn't mention it to anyone else, just said that there was a mountain lion in the area and that they would need to close the paths until the animal could be located and moved. I'm going to wrap that up now. Oh, okay. I wasn't expecting to do a story, but it was fun. I like the stories. I'm confused about whether I did read that one story before, or if I just thought I did, because I've listened to a couple of these. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. But I hope that it was good either way. I really do like reading on stream. It's fun, even though sometimes it messes with my like breathing, but I think that's just because I have bad posture. Off is fun. I'm not sure when the next time I'm gonna be playing it is, but it'll be some point. I've been kind of very tired, so I've not been doing much of anything like that. I've also kind of not been playing Homebody at all. I don't know when the next time I'll do that will be either. Next time, I'm going to make tea. I say that every single stream, but my throat hurts. And so I'm going to go rest my voice and then rest the rest of me. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I hope you had fun. And I hope you have a very relaxing rest of your night. Thank you for watching. Good night.